What's up, y'all? And welcome to another episode of Cree Said What? I swear I'm gonna stop laughing. I'm gonna stop laughing every time I say it. Because, yeah, I said it. I said it. And if it hit a nerve, it's probably something that you needed to hear. And tonight we're talking about something that women from their 20s to their 50s are navigating through in real time: age gap relationships. Okay, so as we all know, as Aaliyah sung back in the day, age ain't nothing but a number. But keep in mind, it was Robert Kelly who wrote that. And depending on where you are in life, that can be true. But what we're unpacking tonight is just a little bit different because age might not be nothing but a number, but alignment, power, life stage, and attention are not. Because age gap relationships don't just stop in your 20s, they show up in your 30s, they evolve in your 40s, and hit differently in your 50s. It's not just about the years between you, it's about the life you've been living over the course of those years. So we're going to start off by breaking it down. Early adulthood, this is where the most concern comes in because you're still learning yourself, building boundaries, and figuring out love and identity. So, large age gaps here often come with imbalance and influence. Your 30s, that's a little bit different because you're more established, more aware, but even here, dynamics can still show up through financial differences, emotional experience, influence, and persuasion. Now, your 40s and your 50s, that conversation is a little bit different. Cause see, that's where I'm at right now. I'm right smack dab in the middle at 45. And it's less about is it appropriate and more about is it aligned? Because now we're talking about lifestyle, compatibility, emotional capacity, intentions. Like, yeah, I'm 45. And legally, I can date anybody over 18. But am I really gonna date somebody who's 22? And I got a 25-year-old son. Am I really gonna date somebody who's 28? 30? Whoo, they were just born when I was entering my 10th grade year of high school. 35? Mm. When I was 18, you was 8? You were 8. When Y2K jumped off, you were 8 years old. You were in 4th grade. Don't sound as sexy when you say it like that, now do it. Now we gonna go ahead and get this out the way. Because as a 40-something-year-old woman, I can let you know that when I was entering into my late 30s, and I say that's 37 through 39, baby, this hot pocket, this hot pocket was hot, steaming, boiling. Okay, okay, I was willing, ready, and very much able. So when it comes to women in their 40s dating younger men, I'm keeping a buck with you. I've done it. I mean, if you can consider it dating, I've done it. I remember having a 28-year-old, 28, 31. I remember there was a young man that was 32. I did that too. I did that too. I did that for a minute. I did 32 for a minute. And somewhere along the way, like the narrative got shifted. Because for years, older men dating younger women was normalized. But now, women in their 40s are stepping into their confidence in a whole different way. I remember when I was like in my 20s, when I heard about a woman, like somebody auntie, somebody grandma, messing with somebody my age, when I was in my 20s, I'm like, what the hell would that lady possibly want with somebody I'm talking to? Like, I'm trying to figure out why I'm competing with somebody the same age as my mama and my dad for a dude that I go to school with. Why is this even a day, like a thing at all? Like women in their 40s stepping into their confidence, dating younger men, they're desired. Like we choosing differently. And let's be honest, some of y'all not just dating younger, you're enjoying dating younger. Because what a lot of men in my age group won't admit is that just like our bodies start changing, when we get in our 40s, we start experiencing perimenopause. We or just menopause. We start having different issues and side effects of those things. We have weight shifts. We have, all types of things start to happen when you get in your 40s. We always like to joke about how the things that used to the things that used to have a little twinge now actually creak. That is not just a funny analogy. That's real life. But what a lot of men won't admit to is that they start going through changes too. And then when you're a woman who's entering your 40s or in your 40s, and it seems like everything for those of us who are blessed to be that way, because it's not for all women. That's another misconception. For some reason, there's a misconception that all women who get in their 40s because they're going through the change of life, all of a sudden become sex demons. I can personally tell you from my own group chats, that's not necessarily the case. There are women that I know who are in their 40s who never experienced an orgasm, didn't experience it before their 40s, can't experience it now in their 40s. And I know some women who may have had a sex drive, and then once they started entering into that next stage of life with perimenopause and menopause, they ain't want no parts of it. But let me tell you something, when it came to me, it said me, it ain't on me. Exactly. I was a demon before. I tapered off a little bit, but I'm still low key a demon now. Because when you're in your 40s, like, you know what you want. You're more confident in your body, no matter what that body is. You're more confident in it. You're less concerned with performing. Like, it really be like, I'm bringing what I got. Like it, love it, or hate it. I'm bringing what I got. I'm pretty sure you're gonna like it, but I'm bringing what I have. You're more focused on connection and enjoyment. Like, no, I can tell you, and I've said it 1,000 times before. One of the main reasons why I have been single for the past 8 years is because not because I just want to have a good time, but I know exactly what I want. I know that the things that I want are realistic because I've had them before, and I know what works for me. And I need genuine connections with people. Like, the sleep, I promise you, the sleep with a nigga is nothing. I promise you, I right now you can see it's two chins right here. I was 285 before, dropped down to about 185, pop back up to 270. Listen, the dick still be dicking. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. The dick still be dicking and the pussy still pop. But because even in my earlier years, it was in order to have me hooked in and have me locked in, it was more about connection than what someone could do for me physically. That has not changed. And younger men, I'm sorry to the fellas that are my age, but they often bring energy. They are sold out. Okay. They are calling, they are texting, no matter what their intention. Yeah, they might not want to get married. Nah, they might, but depending on what type of time you are on, maybe they are overflowing with attention. They're gonna call you back. They're gonna text you back. They're gonna call back. They're gonna text you back. If they ain't talk to you when they see you out in the street, they're gonna make sure that everybody knows that we know each other. Okay. And they also have a willingness to explore that a lot of men that are in our age group just don't have. By the time they get to the men, when they by the time they get to their 40s in the men my age that I'm experiencing now, what they do is what they do. If they can still do that. Because a lot of times they be like, I do this, I do that. But I ain't gonna hold you physically. It ain't really like that. Now I've been thoroughly surprised a couple of times with men my age. When they said this is what I'm coming with, and that is what the hell they brought. I was like, oh shit, fuck me. Literally. I wasn't ready. I wasn't expecting it. And for some women, it's actually refreshing. I can be honest. When I was about 38, 39, and I was messing around with the 28-year-old, this shit was fun. This shit was fun. It was so fun. The lack of decorum, the the spontaneity, the way that he was willing to do anything that I mentioned, not anything I asked, anything I mentioned. That shit was exhilarating. I'm low key an adrenaline junkie. The boy called me and told him to come through. I'm coming the through. Nah, girl, I got something else to do. It was a time. It was a time. And I can tell you, everything was cool until he reminded me that he was a little boy and that he liked to watch porn. I might tell y'all that story a little later in the episode. But, and especially if you're coming off of a long term relationship, like a marriage or situations where you felt overlooked, the level of attention that a younger man gives to an older woman, it's almost like they feel like they have to rise. They have to rise to the occasion because they recognize one thing that older men don't realize that men, when they're younger, do recognize is that this woman that is in her 40s could be dating somebody her age and beyond. This woman in her 40s, comfortably is willing to with me. But when any nigga in the age from my age up to her age, and she choosing me, so they show up and they show out. But I won't bring it back to summer because just because it feels good doesn't mean it's always aligned. I can tell you that the 28-year-old that I was dealing with, he was coming on strong with the "you my woman, you my girl, we together" energy. And let me be clear, I wasn't paying damn bill. I wasn't sending no cash apps. I wasn't helping with no gas. I wasn't buying no food or preparing no food. The nigga never even came to my house. The nigga never came to my house. And for him, like anytime he says something like, we're not in a relationship, like he would be almost on the verge of crashing out. I'll go ahead to the story now. So me and him kicked it probably 7, 8 months. No problems. It's big fun. It's big fun. It's big fun 3, 4 times a week. And just a little side note, I was on that type of time before I hit period menopause. However, so one night we kicking it, we doing our thing, and for some reason this nigga decided to slap me. Mid stroke, decided to slap me. And I was so like, what the hell? He's like, shut up. What the wait. No, sir. No, sir. Like I had to turn on my whole mama voice. I went from being sexy, sensual, let me whisper something in your ear, Crystal, to nigga, is you crazy? All the hood jumped out of me. All the clim jumped out of me. Cause nigga, what's wrong with you? But it was an exhibition of his level of immaturity. And that was a moment when I was like, I'm gonna have to get on through. I'm gonna have to get on through. This has been fun. But hell no. Hell to the no, to the no. And when you're trying to figure out whether or not you're actually aligned, like if you really like, I am open to dating, being in a committed relationship with a man 10, 15 years younger than you, which I wouldn't urge other people to do really, but for those that do, for those, like you have to ask yourself, are we emotionally on the same page? Is this just physical or is someone getting attached? Do our lifestyles actually match? Because what starts off feeling really light can become complicated real motherfucking quick. When I tell you, I ended up having to block that boy. And because he never really roamed in the same circles that I roamed in because of our age, once we stopped kicking it, now all of a sudden, this nigga's in places and spaces that I was being in on a regular basis and never seen him in. I only seen him after I left there. So, you know, you have to say, like, if that's something that you're into, what you're doing, how you're doing it, and what the expectations are really truly needs to be discussed. While you spinning, getting spun around on your head and flipped over and smacked up, flipped, rubbed down, and all those things, y'all better have some conversations because it can turn real ugly real quick. Because just because something feels good does not automatically mean that it's good for you long term. And that's a word, whether you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, or 50s. But the real issue isn't the actual age gap, it's the dynamic, it's the intention, it's the balance. Because you can have a healthy age gap relationship when you're 45 to 55, and an unhealthy age gap relationship between someone who's 25 and somebody who's 35. So we have to stop focusing on the number and start looking at the experience within the relationship. Power just doesn't disappear because of age. Like, it just changes form. In your 30s, 40s, and 50s, power can look like financial stability. Because who the fuck got money when they're in their 20s? Like, some people do, but let's be realistic. Who got money when they're in their 20s? Emotional influence. Because a lot of times, when you're younger than your mate, you'll start to defer to how they handle emotions because we expect for those people to have more experience, to be more emotionally intelligent because of their age. And baby, let me tell you something, age does not always equal wisdom. Lifestyle control. Can I do things in my 40s that I used to do in my 20s? Yes. But the things that I do now, because I'm 40, would someone in their 20s or would I in my 20s have wanted to do those things? Or would I have thought they were old people shit? And also relationship experience. Sometimes someone knows exactly how to show up in a way that pulls you in before you fully checked in with yourself. So even as a grown woman, we still have to ask, is this equal or is someone leading this in a way that benefits them more? The last thing you want to do is get yourself caught up with a young boy and end up playing mama. The longest age gap situation that I found myself in was when I first got into my 40s. I started kicking it with one of my coworkers. And we had a 10-year age gap. We had a 10-year age gap. And it was very intense. It was intense enough to where the physical energy that we had began to translate into a high level energy professionally. And it was so comfortable because we had so many things in common due to our professional status that I almost let that shit get away from me. I almost let that shit get away from me. Like, he was the type of nigga that liked to love bomb bitches. He liked to love bomb bitches. Like, I completely understand why, though, his past relationships moved the way that they moved. Because to someone with less life experience, they would have been through. This nigga answer the phone when you call. He real helpful and shit. Show up for you. You got some shit going on. He'll talk you through it. In the bed, he gonna talk you through that too. Like he ain't no bum. Like he ain't rich, but he ain't no bum. He got his own shit going on. You know what I'm saying? Like you can laugh with a nigga, you can cry with a nigga, and he bought the work. He bought the work. Let's take a sip. And I ain't do that for a little bit. I did that for a long and a lot of bits. Mm-hmm. And then it got to the point where any interaction professionally, in the professional setting that we were in, that he had with other women started to make me physically uncomfortable. When I tell you I would have a whole motherfucking attitude, why the fuck is she talking to you? That gotta be the kind of shit that'll be running through my head. Like I could see that man talking to, I mean, it could be general chit chat because of the environment that we were in. I would be about to lose my shit. Cause why are you talking to them? When I tell you that young man had me so damn open, that young man had me so open. That man was able to come to my home whenever he wanted to my home. People can tell you, anybody that know me, no. I have not had a man in my bed. Y'all can't see my bed because of this backdrop. But I ain't had a man in my bed since my bed was in another location 8 years ago. Like I don't play that. My family call me Batman. Because for a very long time, and if I'm honest, even now, I don't give a fuck how cool he is. I don't give a damn how good your dick is. Don't give a fuck. When it's time to go, it's time to go. I'm not cuddling with you. I'm not playing footsies with you. We're not finna lay there and talk about the day and what happened and feelings or none of that shit. None of that shit. Motherfucker, get up, go wipe off in the bathroom, go get me a wet towel. I'm already at the door. I can take a shower when I get home. I'm gonna take one when I get home because I don't get in my bed without taking a shower. I am out. You might as well wait and wipe off after I go home because I am getting on through. I'm not playing none of that with you. You look, we having a conversation, you look up, nigga, bye, I'm gone. And it's probably been like that. Shit. Ooh, since my 20s. It's kind of how my single life rolled. And with this man, I just wanted to lay there. I just wanted to lay there. I just wanted to talk. I just wanted to smile. This nigga was toxic, very much in his 30s, very much doing what 30-year-olds do. Very much outside. And I don't mean outside like in the club, partying, road tripping, all the things. No. He had bitches. He had bitches. And in reality, if I'm talking to somebody, if I'm 41 and I'm talking to somebody who's 31, if I know how my life changed when I got into my 40s, what the hell this nigga gonna do when I'm 50 and he turning 40? What the hell am I gonna do when I'm in my 60s getting ready for Medicare and this nigga just not turning 50? Like the shit wasn't realistic. Because no matter the age, there comes a moment when you have to ask yourself, am I choosing this or am I influenced to do this? And I really feel like that our professional dynamic had a great influence on both of us making the decision to kick it with each other. Because we did. It's just convenient as fuck. It's convenient as fuck. Why not? Why not? Nobody got to know our business. Shit, the nigga ain't 20. We both grown. He know what time it is. I know what time it is. And sometimes what feels like connection is comfort. What feels like attraction is security. And what it feels like alignment is simply, like I said, just convenience. And if you're not careful, you'll call something aligned that was never ever meant to last. Like, I would never have admitted it to him, even though I'm sure that with us being so physically connected that he knew, but I would have never admitted to him how it was really going down with me. Never fucking ever. Maturity isn't about age. It's about your awareness in the choices that you make. I said before, age does not equal maturity. I know some of us ladies who are just as much as a dingbat, old bird ass, smooth brain ass, 40 some years old. Literally still making the same decisions and moving in the same way as we did in our 20s. And then wondering how a man who's in their 20s, could meet us, see us, and actually approach us. It's what we're projecting out into the world. Now, sometimes I do be a little too turned, and I know I look like fun. But once I'm approached, it's made very, very clear, with eye contact and all, which still don't sometimes help, that I ain't the one nor the two. Baby, if you into older women, I am not the one for you. And trust and believe, the youngins are always going to have an excuse. Not necessarily an excuse, but a defense for themselves as to why they think it's okay for them to kick it with you. Please don't get caught in the street bag. Don't get caught in the street bag. You'll hear, I'm grown. I know what I'm doing. This is what I want. And the thing about it is, when those young ladies, when those younger men come to you, every single one of those things are true. Every single one of those things are true. They are grown. They are very well aware of what they want. And a lot of them do be knowing what they be doing. They be completely conscious of what they are doing and what they are trying to achieve. But that's where we have to be a little bit better. Because being grown doesn't make you immune to imbalance. It's not, it doesn't mean that every situation is healthy. And it does not mean you shouldn't ask deeper questions. Just because a man is grown, just because he's grown, he has a good job, because that doesn't necessarily mean that that's the person for you. Because the gap in age does make a difference. Now, there are age gap relationships that can be healthy. They can be healthy. I'm not gonna make it seem like every age gap relationship is gloom and doom and doomed to fail. That is not necessarily the case. I know people who every time I be like, I'm not dating nobody that much older than me, can name out 5, 6 people that they know that are in age gap relationships, and according to what they know, those people are very happy. A healthy age gap relationship has mutual respect, emotional safety and understanding, clear communication, shared values, balanced decision making. No one person is leading everything. Not one person is holding all the power. Like the issue that I have when I hear men talking about how they have a preference of dating younger women, it's not so much that they prefer to date women that are younger than them. Because, if you let a motherfucker talk long enough, they'll tell you exactly what it is that you need to fucking know. Because a lot of times, not all the time, but a lot of times, once they make their declaration that they don't want no woman their age for this reason, that reason, that's another thing. Anytime a motherfucker gonna can't just give their preference and describe their preference and why they like it without making a comparison to what they don't like, ain't no validity in it for me. Ain't no validity in it for me. That's not your preference. That's not your preference. You just can't get the other thing. You can't get the other thing. Or you would have never had to mention that thing that you don't like. For example, I like strawberry ice cream. And I only like strawberry ice cream when it's in a box of Neapolitan. I like strawberry ice cream and I only like it when it's in a box of Neapolitan. That's it. That's all. I like the way that it tastes when it's combined with vanilla and chocolate. That is me describing my preference. Me saying I only like Neapolitan ice cream when it's in a box of, I only like strawberry ice cream when it's in a box of Neapolitan with the chocolate and the vanilla. Because strawberry ice cream when it's just in a box, it's too much. It's too much. Like it's too. I don't know. When it's in a box by itself, it's just too much strawberry. It's just too much strawberry. Like it seems like when it's in a box with the chocolate and the vanilla, like it cuts some of the strawberry. Nobody asked why you had to why you had to come strawberry in the box by itself. Nigga, you don't even like strawberry ice cream. You like Neapolitan ice cream. You don't even like Neapolitan ice cream. But nonetheless, if you let them talk long enough and don't interrupt, because we have an issue with interrupting. As soon as we hear that we ain't somebody preference, the first reaction we do is to open up our damn mouth and say something. Shut up. Shut shut up. Let the nigga talk. Because if you let the nigga talk, you'll realize that you don't want that nigga anyway. Because they start to say shit like, I want a younger woman because they're gonna have less baggage. Not less baggage, less experience. I want a younger woman because her body ain't been through the same things that the older woman's body's been. I don't give a fuck what they say. A nigga cannot stick his dick in you and tell where the fuck you been. If that pussy big at 40, that pussy was big at 20. I'm sorry. And it might not be the pussy at all. It might be your dick. Because niggas like to pretend like they don't know they. Never mind. I just don't want somebody. I want to be able to guide her, and I don't want somebody who got their own. They already done set in their ways. I want somebody that I could, that I could teach. That I can, that'll be more willing to do what I need them to do. I need somebody who ain't lived no life so they won't know that I'm actually shitting them. I need somebody who don't know nobody but me. All you got to do, I promise you, all you got to do is let them talk. One problem, ladies, that we do have, a lot of us have, and I am starting to mature out of that at 45, is listening to respond rather than listening to understand. Shut up. Tell me, while you trying to defend all women in your age group, this nigga ain't worthy of no woman in no age group. Shut up. Save yourself the stress. You ain't even got to do all that. Because when you're in a healthy age gap relationship, no one is holding all the power. And really, that's with any relationship. Any healthy relationship, no one's holding all the power. No one has all the control. It is an equal balance based on your roles. You feed off of each other. That's why relationships that are more balanced and actually grow naturally tend to be more successful. So, as always, there's a couple of reflection questions that I want for y'all to ask yourself this week. For those of you, whether you're thinking about being in an age gap relationship, have been in age gap relationships with younger men, thinking about being in an age gap relationship, because I can tell you, I even think it's weird for me at 45 to date somebody that's up to 65. My daddy's 65. 20 years is wild. 20 years is still wild for me at 45. Why I can kick it with somebody who's 65 because I can kick it with a 65-year-old man. My daddy's 65. My daddy, my best friend. My dad is my best friend. I see his homeboys. I would never forget him. And it's not because they my dad's friend. It's because them niggas is old enough to be my damn daddy and my uncles. Like them niggas is Uncle So and So. I remember one time my daddy came back telling me he went to go play cards with one of his homeboys and his people. And he came back talking about one of the niggas that was at the card party was asking questions about me and was like, yeah, tell Crystal. Tell Crystal what, nigga? First of all, I'm never gonna not be my dad's daughter. I'm never not gonna be his twin. And there is never gonna be a time when my daddy is gonna put in a word for you, nigga, and you the same age as him. That's just never gonna happen. It's never gonna happen. And then even if my dad did say, well, shit, she is wrong. He's never gonna. He brought that back to me, but I promise you, he did not bring that back to me. Like, hey, this is something you should do. He brought that back to me. Like, guess what this nigga said? Because, like I said, my daddy, my best friend. So here's some questions that you should ask yourself if you're in thinking about or have experienced the age gap relationship, ladies. Does or did this feel balanced? Does it feel balanced? Are we really exchanging ideas, you know, assisting each other, with different situations? Can I call him for guidance? Can he call me for guidance? With this younger man, can we actually have a conversation that is balanced? When it comes to being younger, like a chick in your 20s, and dealing with an older man, do I feel seen or shaped? Am I the end all be all because he sees me and he loves me for who I am, or because I do everything that he wants me to do? And am I fully myself or am I adjusting? And that goes for whether or not you're the older woman dating a younger man or the younger woman dating the older man. How much work am I actually having to put into this for this to work? How much of me am I sacrificing? How much of me am I changing in order to make this work? Because no matter your age, you deserve alignment. And that's it, y'all. That's it, y'all. This concludes this week's episode of Cree Said What. And this is if this episode made you pause, think, or even check yourself a little bit, that's the point. Now I have to hear from you. Drop a comment, let me know. Do you believe that age gap relationships are about numbers or about dynamics? And if you believe one, what did it teach you? If you experienced one, what did it teach you? Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share this episode with another woman who you know needs this conversation. Because just because she ain't bringing that nigga outside, don't mean she ain't got that little nigga. Because we're not gatekeeping growth over here. We're talking about it, we're learning from it, and choosing better because of it. And if you want to go deeper, head over to Life According to Cree. Tap into the Life Check and Empower 365 challenges. And I will see you ladies on Sunday for Life According to Cree, the podcast at 7 p.m. Until then, love y'all. Bye.